It's a good look at the driver there as the car comes to a stop. Shaking his head around. Looks like he may be a shaved head. It's hard to tell. This might be the longest this car has been stopped in this pursuit so far. There's movement there with the driver, of course. We're just looking for that opportunity where the driver is going to roll down the window, throw the keys out, and then open the door and surrender. That's what the LAPD is hoping for. That's what I think everybody in trail of this pursuit is hoping for. Now, I can tell you, though, that as this car just kind of creeps along here, the traffic backup is starting to get some relief somewhat. Lanes have opened up to all lanes because of the Caltrans. That's helped a little bit, but the interchange there, people can now take the 57 freeway or the 71 and get past this backup. So there is a little hope there for the backup as we're beyond the interchange now, east of it. No, it's loose, but it looks like it's still intact. We're talking about the bumper. If he's lost the bumper, my colleague Eliana Moreno made mention that the bumper was loose. It looks like it's still on, but I did see some movement on it earlier on. And again, that's likely due to the tires coming apart during the chase and just beating on the bumper, on the wheel well. Eastbound 10 freeway, just past the Kellogg interchange, is where we're at. So the driver now on the gas, and let's see how fast. 27, 28, 30 miles an hour.
What is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Casey, thank you. I'm sorry, say again. Oh, okay. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you. Hey, Jamie, thank you. You were awesome. Thanks for all the help. We appreciate it. Talking to Jamie Bankson, who's off now and did a great job in assisting us up here in the choppers with the pursuit as it continues on. Painfully eastbound 10 freeway, 1 mile an hour at times, stopping at times, and reaching about 20 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour, maybe max, due to no tread on those front tires. Hey, Casey, let's let it catch up to us so we can look into the side of the window, side window. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. And just to recap a little bit about this chase, it was LAPD 77th Division gang units that were initially started this pursuit in South LA. We were flying at the time, heard the chase starting up. It was in South LA Western and 75th on surface streets, driving erratic at high speeds, running red lights, going the wrong direction on streets, going through parking lots, and fortunately there were no accidents during that portion of the chase. And then once the driver eventually made his way to the 110 freeway, that's when the driver started to ramp it up on the freeway going 90 miles an hour, but then started to do this, slowing down and driving a little recklessly across lanes, reaching speeds of 20 miles an hour during that portion of the chase, and then accelerating. That's when he had tires. They weren't popped like they are now. But this behavior started back then, southbound on the 110 freeway past, well, actually around the 105 freeway. More people on the bridge overpass there to watch the pursuit go underneath. Look at that, people running across the bridge to look as the pursuit passes under them. Those gang units were likely surveilling this driver before the pursuit started, and they believe that the driver was armed with a weapon and also possibly wanted for a shooting out of Newton Division. LAPD Newton Division. And so because of that, they were very leery and not going to try the pit maneuver, and even spike strips were a danger. Let's come back in here, and the driver may have rolled the window down. No, he did not. Eventually, the spike strip was done. I believe it was on the 101 freeway in or near Hollywood, and they were successful on that, popping at least 3 of the 4 tires, making them flat. And now we're down on 2 rims on the front, and that rear tire here on the driver's side looking pretty shabby. As I come into that tire, you see how it's just barely any tread at all there. The front one has nothing. The front 2 have nothing. And there's the driver. Still active in the car, still moving around, reaching for things. Eastbound 10 freeway at Dudley. Out again in a wide shot, and to see the traffic and trail. There you have it. Those long lines of cars. Still people trying to get out east from LA. Awful backup there. And now we're really on a long stretch of the 10 freeway, long stretch of the 10 freeway. That the next interchange is going to be the 15 freeway, and that's still a long ways away. Come in again. I see some movement there on the driver, and when it comes to a stop like this and the officers jump out, you know that the officers are on their loudspeaker talking to that driver, issuing commands. You know, stop the car, put it in park, roll down the window, throw out the keys, show your hands, exit the vehicle, and keep your hands up, and normally walk back towards the officers, and then they take the driver into custody. That's what normally happens in a felony stop like this. But the driver has been playing cat and mouse the entire time here, stopping, letting them get out, letting them draw their guns, letting them announce what they want to say and give them orders, and then the driver simply pulling away. Each time it stops, we hope would be the end, but there you go. That's what happens. The driver starts to creep away from the officers, and then the pursuit continues. In the meantime, hundreds of cars behind this pursuit are just stopped. Fortunately, they're coming up on some exits now. They had the 57 freeway behind them that can give them some relief. But for those trying to get out east towards San Bernardino or Riverside, they're really out of luck. If you know anybody in this backup, you may want to have them exit the freeway and take surface streets to get around this, and then they can jump on the freeway ahead of the pursuit to get out of that traffic mess.
California. And it's still going.
And off he goes. There goes some more parts coming off the car as the driver accelerates to almost to 30 miles an hour, and then boom, stops. More people on the bridge there running to see it go under them. More cars stopped on the side of the road. This is where the car is now getting up alongside the other vehicles there, which LAPD, they do not want to see this happen. They want those vehicles to clear out that are ahead of the pursuit and either exit or just speed up and get away from it. Here you see this car in the carpool lane. That night sunlight lighting it up, trying to tell the driver, hey, move on. You need to get away from this driver here. Again, this driver's wanted for being armed and dangerous. They don't want anybody getting hurt. Eastbound 10 freeway approaching White Avenue. Let's come back in here to look at the condition of that rear tire. Looks like that is really down to the rim and not much tread at all left on that rim. So 3 of the 4 we know have been blown out by the spike strip from earlier. Six LAPD units there in trail, and a couple of civilians there in the front, just keeping pace with the pursuit. LAPD does not want them there. Once again, the LAPD officers coming out in their position for the felony stop, and the driver scooting away a little bit. As for this pursuit, it's been on the freeway system for quite some time. Really, it was in the beginning of the pursuit
For our
where the driver was on surface streets, but then,
in
for
Los
the most part,
Angeles,
has been on the
California.
freeway systems ever since. The 110 freeway up to the 101
Our
freeway,
police
back
pursuit
down the 101
in Los
freeway,
Angeles,
down into
California.
downtown LA, where the driver transitioned eastbound on the 10 freeway, and that's where we're at now, the 10 freeway in Pomona. And only for a brief moment when the driver exited the 101 freeway up near, I believe it was Universal City. The driver got off and then got back on to the southbound side of the 101 freeway. But other than that, it's been freeways ever since the South LA area when the driver first got on the 110 freeway. So that's the story there. And of course, in those early moments of the pursuit, it was very high speed, very dangerous. We saw a lot of close calls. The driver running red light after red light, stop signs, didn't matter. He'd come up on traffic and would do something similar to this, where he'd slow down and kind of evaluate the traffic at an intersection and pick a lane or pick an outlet. Sometimes when all the lanes were full of cars, the driver would go into a parking lot and then exit the cross street there. We saw that activity early on in the pursuit. And you get a sense of relief when the pursuit jumps onto the freeway, because at least there's no cross traffic in a pursuit on the freeway. There's not cars crossing over red lights and so on. So it seems to be a little bit, appears to be a little bit safer, but then, you know, the high speeds come into play then. Good, thank you. Now we're hearing and seeing that the CHP is getting involved in clearing the freeway ahead of the pursuit. Those cars that were ahead of the chase, slowing down, stopping ahead of the pursuit vehicle. Now we're hearing that the CHP is trying to clear those cars and move them along. In fact, I'm going to come out to a wider shot and show you. That's the pursuit vehicle here. It's moving again, but here, do this real quick. You see that? The night sunlight shining on this car to move along. That unit right there, I believe that is possibly a California Highway Patrol unit there that shooed that driver off the freeway, because here comes the chase. Now there's a line of about 25, maybe 20, 25 cars ahead of that unit. And he's going one by one up to those cars to clear them out. The airship as well is going ahead of the pursuit and shining the night sunlight on those cars. I'll look at that again real quick, not to take our eyes off the pursuit, but look at all these cars here, and that's the night sunlight that was over the pursuit. Here's the, we believe is a CHP vehicle that is trying to get all these cars to move on out of danger's way, because here comes the chase with a possible armed driver, and they don't want those people down wind of the pursuit like they are right now. So they're trying to clear them out using the helicopter to do that, and the units that are on the freeway. And once again, here we go. The car stops. Officers will come out with their guns drawn, and the driver sits there for a length of time and then moves away. Starts to move And there he goes. And there's that activity that we've been seeing all along in this chase. Okay, do you know if anyone's in NOC right now? As we are likely going to need to change the hilltop. Look at all the cars there that have stopped. That's an on-ramp, I believe, there, but all the cars that are trying to get on the freeway, but then all these other ones that have pulled over and stopped to watch the pursuit go by. That's what the officers were trying to clear out. Here's some cars just joining in. Not what the LAPD wants right now. Really just a backlog of vehicles on the shoulder of the road. They get past, they're on an off ramp. It'll be interesting to see if they jump back on the freeway, like speed up and try to get back on the on ramp there.